At least I told years ago. And so get ready, guys. We're going live into the game. Here we go. Ins is POV to begin with. And not going well for Ins, or is it? With some rockets that, had he connected that mid-air, would have been quite impressive, but he does spawn on the red, so it's not over yet for Ins. Spart1e is going to be applying the pressure from below. Still has some cells to be annoying with. If we switch to Ins, let's see how much damage. Spart1e took off 70 of that armor, so that's a great result for the Swede. But Ins going for a bit of a trap here. Great damage there from Ins, but he took the rail, and that means that he's vulnerable. Both looking for health, and Ins is going to catch Spart1e. One of the situations where you're not really thinking too much about what the opponent's doing. You're just like, I need health, I need health, I need health, and they're both thinking that, and they both arrive at the same one. And Ins is going to get the frag 1-to-1 after a somewhat troubling start for our color caster Ins. Spots doesn't really find any damage. He stays up, but it's just not getting the damage output, and Spart1e gets the frag and the mega. So Ins needs to let's have a look at his damage onto the item pickup. He's going to go for the same play here, maybe with the rail. But be careful not to expose himself too much. Misses the shot, and that's the risk. His positioning for where Spart1e was coming from was bad, but his positioning for where he fought, see him just getting almost thrown around by Spart1e here, as here he gets caught again. This is a terrible spot to be fighting in, and going to dent into the stack of Spart1e. Takes the in once he swims, goes for a swim. Spart1e puts up the no swimming sign. Spart1e now going to needs at this point to just really chill, because Spart1e is so stacked that Ins can't really make any plays. Unless he gets some crazy lucky damage, he can't really make plays. I mean, making a play like this, he does some damage, but he dies. I mean, and now Spart1e just stacks up. It's square one again for Ins. Ins has to be able to either do significant amounts of damage, or he has to basically kind of do something I would attribute to someone like Pavel, where you just cycle even one yellow, stay out of harm's way, you get to 150 to 200 armor, and then you go for something, some defensive play, some pickup or something. Ins is just running at Spart1e, kind of getting a bit lucky, but you can see Spart1e gets the kill anyway. And the thing about this as well is that Spart1e will just get the mega again anyway. So even though Ins did get quite lucky there, you can see it didn't really have an effect on the game at all. And Spart1e going to pick up this mega, and the yellow is there waiting for him too. And he even hits a shot, so Ins is now, okay, almost going to die again. Just missing the rails, but Spart1e gets positioning on this red. And he goes for the teleporter first, so he can have an angle onto Ins if he's there. He wasn't though. But again, you know, Ins, this is why you need to slow the games down sometimes. There of course is the strategy where you can trade 3 frags. If you have good item timing, you know when the items are spawning, you can work out that you can trade about 3 frags for having them weak right just like, you know, a few seconds before the items are spawning, so you can make that last attack and then get the kill and the items as well. And that's like a play you can make on the faster maps. It can work here too, but you need the spawns and the timing to do it. So that kind of aggression though, Ins is showing that kind of aggression, but not with the kind of forethought that is required to make it really work. And that's like, you know, something Evil's really good at, not only just because his aim is so good, but his timing, the sense of when to make a play like that is very strong. Spart1e catching another kill. Looks like Ins is getting quite demolished so far. So we're coming up to the halfway point, and Ins he failed to slow the game down. Instead, he decided to just keep the pace high. And again, you know, he's having a bit of a shootout with Spart1e, but it's always going to be the same. Even if he gets Spart1e a little bit low, he hasn't ever got him low at a good time where he can spawn and abuse it. It's only happened once, and that was right at the start, and I don't think it was particularly part of the plan necessarily. But there you go, Spart1e gets another frag onto Ins. Good rocket there from Ins. Great prediction, but can he finish it off? Looks like not the case. So Spart1e still in the driving seat. Ins is going to attack onto the red armor. Spart1e though not allowing anything nuts to happen here. Oh, that was me hitting the spacebar. Sorry about that. And yeah, just showing Spart1e's accuracy here. 70% rails, pretty good. Going to ruin that now, as I mentioned it. Yep. dropped 5%. Thanks, Spart1e. And let's have a look at the items taken. We can see only 1 mega, 4 ins, and 6 for Spart1e. So Spart1e is basically winning on all the items. But it's not like ins has had absolutely nothing. And Spart1e just going on a bit of a rampage. It's quite clearly over at this point. And Spart1e is more or less just warming himself through thoroughly now, so that he can be strong for the games to come, and just bouncing ins around. Bit ridiculous there, and ins is going to call GG 15-1, and I don't know if that GG means he's going to forfeit, or if he's just like, oh, you've won. And 16-1 now, Spart1e a bit unstoppable. This is like doing some, this is like winning the race, and then at the Olympics, like getting your flag, and then just like jogging around the track. Basically, that's what Spart1e's doing. The Swedish flag on his back. It's jogging around the track, absorbing all the cheering, and ins. You know, the story's over. 17-1. You know, there's nothing ins can do to Spart1e to win this game. It's going to take some fights, but. And I wonder what you guys think about, for example, because this has been a bit of an institution almost in Quake Live or Quake in general for so many years. It started out as just a tradition or a sign of respect to your opponent. You know, you don't quit a game before it's done and so on. So, you know, there's been a lot of debate about this, like, because quite clearly, if you ask him, oh, do you think you can win from this point? He's going to say no. So then you ask yourself, why are you still in the game, and so on and so forth. So I'd love to see some discussion around this. I know it's been done before, but it's always an interesting one. I suppose, I mean, you can also look, for example, discuss it from the perspective, perhaps, of tournament organizers or casters or productions, and, you know, be an interesting discussion. I think I don't have a strict idea about it. I think that the game really is quite so crushing. This was impossible for them to win. Like, it's still like a close game. Like, you have those kind of situations too. So it's an interesting point. There's 2 minutes left now, and guys are Spart1e fans, and you know he's crushing through ins here, and you're like, okay, Spart1e, you're going to win today's tournament. His next challenge is going to be up against Ash. So Ash, you know, multiple winner of FACEIT Sunday Cups, and a recent one, and you know, someone who I said earlier on in the day is kind of the hot new player. The guy who just came up from, I guess, Russia, from the Russian scene. Speaks pretty good English, has a great personality. He's a great jeweler overall, and you know, this guy is someone that really has a lot of potential to just keep getting good, just keep on getting good, and we have to wait and see how that works. Will Ash take a huge result against just hit his Sunday Cups here and there, or is he going to do something crazy? Is he going to take the top, is he take down in his Cypher like repeatedly and then win DreamHack Winter? Can he do that? Is that too early for Ash, or is that something that's in his destiny? Who knows? It's really, really interesting to speculate on something like that. You know, he's shown the skill. He's some of the streams a lot as well, so he deserves a lot of support from the community for how much he tries to give back. I even saw him streaming some Orcs Must Die or something, like on Halloween or something like that. So definitely an interesting guy, and it's a fun game to play with some friends, some co-op. Co-op's pretty fun. Speaking of which, I was trying a new game recently called Forced, which was a cool co-op game. Came out recently from some Danish game developers. Pretty cool stuff. Anyway, there is the end of the map. 24-2 is the final score. Spart1e with an insanely dominant performance, and In's gonna go home. He's already home, but I don't know. That's what you say sometimes when someone loses a tournament. I guess usually referring to the fact that the tournament's live and they're not at home. So whatever. Ins is gonna get knocked out. And Spart1e's going to play against Ash next. So guys, stay tuned. We're going to have some great games coming up as we get deeper and deeper into the tournament. This was round of 16. So Spart1e now going to be moving into best of 3 territory, into the quarterfinals. So prepare yourselves, tweet about it, let your friends know, get them on the stream, and we'll be back very shortly after this quick break.